Hi, welcome to Lauka, where I share philosophy for living life well and finding peace and happiness along the way. So the second video I'm making on this channel, that isn't the channel introduction, is another very, very important one, and it's a dual principle. And the two parts of it are, firstly, slowing down, not rushing through life, and not going through life on autopilot. And two, gratitude, the art of feeling gratitude. This is a very, very important one, and here as my guides I have my two favorite Taoist texts, the essential writings of Chuang Tzu and of course the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu. And from the Stoic school of thought, we have the Meditations by Marcus Aurelius and my baby girl, Letters from a Stoic by Seneca. And as always, I find that sort of Stoicism's blunt, sort of logical reasoning and essay exploration of a topic matches the Taoist school of like intuitive, meditative, arriving at the realization perfectly. I feel like the two perfectly align on these 2 points. And so, to get into it, in the second letter to Lucilius, Seneca writes about how one ought to read. And he urges Lucilius not to jump from book to book to book and author to author to author. Instead, he urges him to stick with tried and tested and classic authors and books that really have stood the test of time. And he urges him to nourish his mind with brilliant thinkers that have endured for centuries, effectively. But he also urges him to adopt a habit, which is, it's brilliant that it comes so early in the letters, I can vouch for how effective it is, because that's how I opted to read the letters myself. He urges him to consider one thing a day. So i.e., you're reading these books, or whatever it is you're doing to extrapolate the principle. You're reading all of these books. Don't just sort of skip through ideas, through like 100 different ideas, and sort of skim across them all and nod and acknowledge. He says, no, you should pick one fantastic idea and really let it soak in. Really sort of absorb it into your character, really explore it and understand it. And pick one thing a day to really focus on. And like I just nodded to a moment ago, this is really a principle you can extrapolate across many different things in life. So slowing down and focusing on one thing at a time, whether that is tasks you're executing, ideas you're trying to sort of bring into, new habits you're trying to build, do one thing really, really well at a time. Focus your mind on that which you are doing. Slow down. And this perfectly ties into Taoism and many of the Eastern schools of thought that obviously and famously encourage meditation. That's, arguably the point of meditation, is to focus the mind on the present. Full stop. That's the point of meditation, and that's why you see so many of the Eastern sort of spiritualities and philosophies adopt meditation practices, because it trains the mind to focus on one thing at a time and to be aware and mindful and conscientious of the moments that you have. Okay, so I won't point to a specific proverb or a specific statement where any of these authors explicitly say like slow down, but it's just a general feeling of the texts and sort of living the principles of the text that teaches you like don't don't just go through life on autopilot. Like really consider what you're doing with your time. Be a bit more conscientious, be a bit more mindful of what you're doing with your time. Like it's so easy. I am aware that many of you will be watching this in a reel right now. It's so easy to just get sort of, your mind just hops on like the treadmill where you're just literally just scrolling, and all of a sudden like an hour's gone by. And like like what do you have to show for it? You know, so I understand the irony of posting a reel that says that, but this is really what wisdom encourages you to understand, is to be a bit more conscientious and awareness of how you are living your life. Don't rush through life. Don't go through life on autopilot. Don't rush through life. Slow down, focus, and be a bit more intentional about what you are doing. All right? And this is a principle that ties perfectly in with gratitude. And now I will refer to a proverb from the Tao Te Ching. This is the Hackett's classic translation. By far the best translation I've ever read, which is a few, by the way. Seeing the small is called brightness. Seeing the small is called brightness. And that's, you know, you always, like you will probably get bored of me saying in future videos, you find this clash between the Stoics and the Taoists that is quite hilarious. And they both say the same thing, they just say it very, very differently. On one hand, you find that Seneca will say something along the lines of like, you may have lost one arm, but at least you have the other. Or like, you might lose one eye, but you should still be glad that you have the other. And then when you read the Taoists, and when you obviously practice your meditation and stuff, you really fill your heart up with gratitude for, you know, all the little things in life. And the Taoists have this beautiful sort of approach to seeing gratitude, whereas the Stoics are very blunt and sort of, again, unescapably pessimistic about it somehow. But this principle of gratitude, first of all, slow down in life. Don't rush through, don't go on autopilot, focus your mind, be a bit more conscientious and mindful of what you're doing. And along the way, truly appreciate what you have. This can be so easily forgotten. And that's why I love that tiny little proverb from the Tao Te Ching. Seeing the small is called brightness. Don't go through life not seeing, not feeling gratitude for what you already have. Don't go through life sort of always looking to what you don't have. Don't go through life always seeking that what you don't have and not being content with what you have, and never taking a moment to actually, man, like, I have a bed to sleep in at night. What an absolute luxury. Or like enjoying a cup of coffee in the morning. Or even just the fact that right now you have life in your body and a whole day of opportunity ahead of you where you can decide what to do. Like, that is an absolute blessing. And the art of gratitude deserves a video in its own right, which I'll definitely be making in the future. But at surface level, as an introduction, this mindful approach to life, loving what you have and taking a moment to be content with what you do have, no matter how big or how little it may be. It's what you have, and you can enjoy it, and you can love it, regardless. And I find that these 2 points dovetail excellently, as does the West, sort of the Stoic and the Taoist approach to it. Slowing down in life and appreciating it as it's happening. I very much urge you to do this as you go through life. and you will find that things become more of a pleasure to you, and you can go through life with a bit more of a lighter heart, and certainly a lighter mind. Alright guys, so that about wraps up the video today. I hope you really took some value from this. If you did, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. My channel doesn't grow literally unless you do, so please do that. If you do enjoy this content as well, I would like to direct you to the link down below. You can get access to my community where you have direct access to me 24/7. And I'm hoping to grow a community of like-minded people striving for truth, peace, and happiness as they go through life, and a community and a network of people who can talk about ideas and have these kind of chats between each other and in a group. So if that is something you're interested in, click the link in the description down below. And I look forward to making the next video. I'll see you then. Thank you for your time.